Southern Italy in the early 11th century was a divided place. The island of Sicily was still controlled by Muslim Arabs, and the mainland was split between the relatively small Lombard principalities and the Greek-speaking Byzantine Empire. Inevitably, this set the stage for a number of conflicts between the different parties, but also led the area to become lucrative for mercenaries, and by around the year 1000 AD, it had attracted the attention of the Normans. These Viking descendants from northern France would prove highly effective on the battlefield, and served both the Lombards and their enemies, the Byzantines, before eventually becoming strong enough to start carving out their own fiefdoms. One of these Norman adventurers was Roger de Hauteville. His father, Tancred, was a minor noble who had managed to sire no less than 12 sons. Naturally, the inheritance wouldn't be enough for all of them to live on, and so many of the sons went to Italy to seek their fortunes. By the time Roger arrived in 1057, one of his elder brothers, Robert Guiscard, had already managed to gain control of much of southern Italy as Count and later Duke of Apulia. Initially, Roger fought alongside him in the conquest of Calabria from the Byzantines, agreeing to divide the gains so that each brother got half of every town and castle. When they were done with that, they set their eyes on Sicily and launched an expedition there in 1060. This time, however, Roger was the one in charge, only needing his brother's aid on particularly difficult occasions. Within a year, the city of Messina had been captured, and by the early 1070s he had gained control of the northeastern part of the island. When he took the important city of Palermo in 1072, Robert Guiscard awarded Roger with the title of Count of Sicily and Calabria. From then on, he would have the right to tax and govern both counties. It wouldn't be until 1091, however, that Roger managed to gain a firm control of the entirety of Sicily. That year, he was given the last of Robert's shares of castles and towns from his successor, and he also conquered the island of Malta, which he feared could be used as a base of attack from North Africa. So now that his power had been secured, how did Roger go about ruling his county? Well, he's known to have established a centralized and efficient government, but also realized that in ruling such a diverse population, a certain degree of tolerance would be necessary. And so in most of the cities that he captured, the Muslims could retain their freedom of trade and religion, and in fact they would make up a large portion of Roger's army. For Arabs living on the countryside though, the Norman conquest wouldn't have been good news, as most of them were turned into serfs. When it came to the Orthodox Greeks, on the other hand, Roger wasn't just tolerant, he even sponsored the construction of 12 new monasteries on the island. At the same time, he was also granted large control over the Catholic Church by the Pope, and created a row of new bishoprics whose bishops he nominated personally. The establishment of Christian rule in Sicily would also lead to a wave of Lombards and Italians moving to the island, turning its focus politically and culturally towards the west. Roger I died in 1101 and was succeeded by his son Simon. However, he in turn died just 4 years later, and the county was inherited by his younger brother, Roger II.